All right, admit it, you've Googled yourself, and I want you to know there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, it's a really smart thing to do because plenty of people are doing it, and hopefully whatever they found about you was fairly harmless. If it wasn't, though, that information could really hurt you because potential employers, landlords, even your potential dates are searching your name to find out more about you. The upside here, there are ways to influence those results, and we are going to help you do just that this morning. Dan Ackerman is senior editor of CNET, here to show us how to improve your Google image and preserve your online identity. Great to have you with us, Dan.
Good to be here.
I think everybody Googles themselves, and it's actually a very smart thing to do. If you do find negatives out there, like they're talking about the Erica Hill who isn't really like that, how do you get rid of that?
Well, they always say you shouldn't have anything online that you wouldn't want to come up, in the New York Times or in your next job interview. So if you do Google yourself, which is almost like checking your credit score, you should do it every once in a while, and you find some stuff you'd rather not see. There are some things you can do. Obviously, if it's something that's on a website or web profile like Facebook that you control, obviously you can take it down yourself. Now, it's not going to disappear from Google right away. You're going to have to wait for Google to come back and re-index the site, take another look at it, see what's new, see what's changed. Eventually, that will fall off.
How long are we talking? Because I would imagine it depends on the site.
It can take weeks or months, especially because Google keeps a cache of the older versions of sites.
Right.
It can take some time. If it's not something somebody else controls, somebody else's website, then it's more complicated.
That's where it gets tricky because you actually have to contact them and ask them, and they're not required to take it down.
Well, of course not. You can say, hey, there's a photo of me on your website, or there's a comment I wrote on a blog post that I regret now, I'd like to take it down. Chances are they're probably not going to get back to you.
So those are some things to keep in mind. You can also, beyond removing the negative, you can make yourself look a little bit better online, make sure the positive things get out there. How do you do that?
And that's really the key. The chances of removing something negative are kind of slim, so you really want to build a positive kind of self-branded image on the web. You can start by updating your Google profile. That's where you can enter information about yourself, a picture, your work history.
Or create one if you don't have one.
Or create one if you don't have one, and then you can go and get your Facebook up to speed. You can get your LinkedIn profile. That's a social network that's kind of like Facebook but for business, and you can put your resume and your CV on there, and even a Twitter account. You can keep that updated with like stuff about what you're doing and your job. So you put all this together, you keep them updated. That new, relevant, fresh information is going to rank higher in Google than that old information.
You bring up Twitter. It's probably important to point out here too. You want to be careful about what you're tweeting if you want that to be LinkedIn and to appear. You don't want to be tweeting about, I was at the bar last night. You want to say, hey, I did this great presentation.
That's exactly it. You can protect your Twitter account. You can say only your friends can subscribe to it, but in general, if you have an open Twitter account, you want to treat that as just as public as anything else, and the same thing goes for Facebook.
And that you can do yourself, despite the fact that there are paid services that can help you improve your image, get rid of some of the negative stuff. This is all really easy to do.
There is stuff you can do yourself. There are some services that can help you with that if you want to pay for some services, stuff like Brand Yourself or Reputation Defender. They can do some deep searches and find stuff you may not be able to find online, and then help you come up with some strategies to overcome that.
You say, too, you should really put yourself at the top, especially if you're searching for a job, which so many Americans are right now, for potential employers. So how do you make yourself pop up specifically when you think you may be being searched for by certain employers?
Well, I've always counseled people for a long time to try to get your name as a domain name, like danackerman.com. Now, at this point, that might be kind of hard to do, especially if it's a common name, but you can get maybe danackerman.net or dan-ackerman.com, or if you have a specialty like danackermanelectrician.com, and that's a great place to either put a blog or just put a one-page site that's just your resume and CV and your contact info, and keep that information concurrent with the contact info on your Facebook, your LinkedIn, other stuff like that.
Keep all that connected. And as you mentioned, be careful what you put online because anybody can find it, including all those questionable pictures on Facebook. I like to think if you don't want your grandmother to see it, don't
put it on Facebook.
Dan, good to have you with us. Some great tips this morning. Thanks.
Thank you.
And there's much more ahead. Stay with us. You're watching The Early Show on CBS.